Hey guys, got really cool video for you today. Something which I never thought was going to be possible. We're going to be using Burangiri to take down Bommal 90 hard in this video. I've got to call out a good buddy of mine, Odd One Gaming. He's given me the full inspiration here because he did a similar strat with Lady Annabelle. And I was looking at it and I was like, damn, that's a really cool and interesting strat. Lady Annabelle is I guess, way easier to use because of her affinity. But ultimately, they're doing the same job, Lady Annabelle and Burangiri. And I thought, right, I'm going to test that as soon as I get to Bommal 90 hard and give Burangiri a try. And I've literally just done it. So we're going to play it through again in a minute. Let you kind of see what's going on and kind of talk through why this is actually possible. As I say, purely inspired by Odd One here because he's done something which is super cool with Sun Wukong, which a lot of us recently would have picked up as our kind of like login bonus. So why is this working? Really, because Sun Wukong just keeps coming back in the mix. And something which is super cool with this is when Sun Wukong dies, Burangiri gets an additional heal. One of the big challenges with Burangiri when we're talking about the higher levels of Bommal is that he just does not have the survivability to be able to kind of stay alive. Yeah, he's got this great passive, same as Lady Annabelle, where heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. So with Lady Annabelle and Burangiri, why this works on Bommal 90 is if one of the little bombs explodes, they actually get a massive heal. So they can sustain the bomb damage. But what's super cool here is, but Bommal can beat Burangiri up pretty easy because he's got the same affinity, whereas Lady Annabelle is the positive affinity against Bommal. But what's going on here is Burangiri is getting extra heals when Sun Wukong dies. Okay, and Sun Wukong keeps popping back up. Now, I don't think this is going to be a 100% strat, but it might be your answer to beating any level of Bommal. I'm not just talking about 90 hard, which is what I'm going to show today, but obviously tailor the stats back to what gear you've got. You should be able to beat any level of Bommal doing the same type of thing. So, I guess firstly, I'm going to show you how I've built my Sun Wukong because he's also my wave clear. Like Sun Wukong, the more I've been looking at, honestly, I watched some of Odd One's video and kind of understood the strat, and I was like, this is perfect. It's amazing. And I'm now thinking, can Sun Wukong do the same type of thing in other content as well? Like, is it just going to be possible in somewhere like Sand Devil to just keep coming back and throwing in a bit of extra damage? So I'm going to be playing around with some other stuff as well, over the weekend probably. But yeah, there's a couple of things which are really important on Sun Wukong. Having some sort of blessing and getting Brimstone massively speeds up the run. This is what Odd One was kind of like talking about. Is he managed to cut his times with Lady Annabelle. I'll link that video down below, by the way. It's a really good watch. He managed to cut his times down by like 6 times. Yeah, he was doing like a 10-minute run. It became a 2-minute run with Lady Annabelle because he had quite a high star level, I think, on his Sun Wukong. But ultimately, what we're doing here is we've got a chance to apply Smite. Yeah, and Smite obviously is a boss killer. It just kills the boss a lot quicker. So Sun Wukong applying the Brimstone Smite debuff is massive for speeding up your runs. And the quicker you can do the run, the less chance you've got of poor RNG. And that's the only reason why I think this is going to fail, honestly. So I also built in with War Master for additional damage, and I made sure I had enough accuracy to be able to land the block buffs, because this is another way to try and stop the bad RNG. Yeah, if you've got block buffs out there, he doesn't get his increased attack up, then this is a really nice way to stop the additional damage you're going to take. During the waves, though, he's also doing AoE damage. He's taking people down with his A2 as well. So he's a really good kind of like nuke champion to take the waves down. I built him with lethal with some perception gear because I did want enough accuracy to land my abilities on the boss. If you were to look at the stages tool, so anyone could do this. You could come onto the website here, hellhades.com, hover on Raid Shadow Legends, go into the raid stages tool, and then Doom Tower. This is rotation 3 with Bommal in it, and then I just found floor 90 hard. What I was looking for is how much resistance does the boss have? 330. And then what's our kind of like recommended accuracy number to try and land your abilities as often as possible? That's what this means. So your accuracy number is always the counter to resistance. And then the resistance number you need is always the counter to his accuracy. Yeah. So I was looking at this and I was like, right, what do I need? What do I need to be able to make sure that I always land my abilities? So I'm up at 395 accuracy, a bit more than I need. You want around 220 speed, a bit more if you're not bringing some sort of speed lead champion in. I'm bringing an epic that's just got a speed aura. So that's giving me additional speed there. And then I just built like attack, crit rate, crit damage. It's not a crazy build, but it's an okay build. And yeah, I just kind of built masteries around landing abilities, around more speed when my other allies died, because my 3 other allies are all going to be chickens, and more accuracy to land stuff. I probably should have bought Whirlwind of Death as well. That would give you better chance of getting that additional speed that you want. But I'd already kind of got his masteries laid out, so that would have been better. Maybe Wrath of the Slain as well would have been better. So it's definitely not perfection here in masteries, but main thing, a bit of the extra damage from War Master and a bit of extra damage from Brimstone. Enough damage to kill waves. Now, my Burangiri build, it is a tough build. It's pretty stat heavy. I've got to say, it is a stat heavy build to get to the sort of survivability that you need. Perhaps I'll run it here, show you it. Maybe I'll try and strip some stats back and see if it still works. But basically, I'm running Immortal Gear with regen. So both of them give me additional health every time we take a turn. Yeah, so basically what we're trying to do is go quite quick and have high health. Therefore, we're healing every turn that we have a go. As I say, none of his other skills matter at all. You do not need to book this champion out. You just need to ascend him so that he gets his passive active. And then we want to stack HP, speed, and defensive stats. Like HP, defense, speed is what I've gone for in all of my stats. I don't care about anything else. I don't need accuracy. I don't need resistance. I don't need damage. He's not in there for that. I did bring War Master for damage when he does his hits on his A1. But then in terms of masteries, we basically just bought masteries which would reduce the damage I was taking. So things like Blast Proof, things like a Resurgence, a good chance to just remove one of those bomb tickers, maybe, or maybe they're protected actually. Delay Death is just reduced damage. Cycle of Revenge gives me a chance of gaining a turn meter boost if Wukong gets crits. Kind of, it's really the best option, honestly. If you didn't go defensive tree, you definitely could have gone more health over here. Spirit Haste to give you more speed and therefore take more turns. So there's definitely an alternative. But yeah, this was working for me, so I kind of left it. And yeah, it's important to be pumping health and pumping the artifact sets that give you healing. Okay. Other than that, all we've done is we've thrown in champions that don't. Well, I've got a speed lead, so I've got a 1-star or level 1 Eurogrim here that's giving me speed in all battles, and then everyone else I just want to die so that I get those benefits from things like the Wrath of the Slain and stuff like that. In terms of setup here, this is important. So some Wukong, just A3 for me, get some death done, and then don't use it again. Same in round 2. And then in round 3, because this is our block buffs ability as well as our AoE hits, we want to open with this so that the boss doesn't get increased attack on the first turn. This is really important. Then just do whatever you want, Wukong. Fill your boots. Burangiri, do whatever you like, but then on the boss, only A1. We do not want these extra buffs. We do not want to land, not that you could do this, but we do not want to land additional debuffs on the boss, because that means that we collect more bombs. We've got a higher chance to be dead. So that's it. Pretty simple. Other than that, I guess we'll run it through and you can get a feel for what's going on. So I'll talk you through kind of the key points when we get to the boss. You can see here Wukong does decent damage, but not crazy damage with the build I've got. But then his A2 pop kills the wave. So the A2 is actually very, very cool. We get back here to our AoE hits and stuff. Everyone else is about to die, which gives us more damage on Wukong plus more speed for our team. That's why I think maybe I should have taken Spirit Haste here. See, we're getting good damage away from Wukong. Even if he dies, it doesn't matter because he just keeps popping back up. There's no block revive in their team. So I'm totally fine with him dying. And Burangiri grabbing a kill or two here is not bad as well, because I do have him with the masteries that gives him more speed if he kills stuff. But he's not going to get many kills because Wukong's doing all of that work. We end up taking about a minute to get to the boss. You definitely could bring a nuker in to help you clear the waves quicker as well. So it could probably clear like another 30 seconds off. See, we get the block debuffs on here, or block buffs on here, sorry, which means that he doesn't get his increased attack. And then every time Wukong dies, I get additional healing. Now, you would have noticed that I put him higher in the turn order than Burangiri. That's on purpose, right? Because Wukong, when he dies before Burangiri takes any damage, we get that healing whilst those bombs are going off. As I said, I don't think it's a 100%. I've not run it enough times to know, honestly, but so far it's worked every time I've tried it. And there's the golden ticket, which Odd One kind of came up with, honestly, or called out. And damn, the extra damage you get from Brimstone procs on this boss is huge. Yeah, in terms of speeding up the run, because often these solo comps are 15 minutes long, stuff like it's super long. And in fact, I don't think I've ever seen it done with Burangiri before, just because of affinity stuff. So having that extra guy to die is actually really helpful. I didn't really think about it until I saw Odd One doing it. I was like, yeah, someone else to die just means we get another 50% heal when things are looking a bit ropey. And it's super useful. So we're just hoping, really, every time Wukong comes back up, we're hoping that he lands Brimstone and speeds up our run, because, or he's landing like War Master procs, yeah? It's just additional procs of damage, which we don't normally have with these solo comps. There we go, the extra hit just before all the damage comes in. Beautiful. We'll take the Brimstone proc. Beautiful. And it's probably going to end up being, I think my first run was about 5 minutes. Look at the extra damage we're doing from Brimstone. Really, really cool, inventive strat. And yeah, just got to say, like, I will pin Odd One's original video, because then you can see if your champion is Lady Annabelle, then that's going to be the one that you're going to want to work with, because she's just more, she's not as stat hungry as what I've got here with Burangiri, just because of affinity. So she's definitely the better of the two, but you know, not everyone's going to have Lady Annabelle, so this just gives people a better chance. Look at this. The healing is just beautiful. And it doesn't feel like, I mean, I get a couple of times where I'm a little bit lower on health, but not to the point where I feel like we're in risk of dying. So maybe I have gone a bit high on stats, like on you know, in terms of like HP and stuff. So I guess what I'll do is I'll strip back. Let's make sure we do this first, because you can still get some poor RNG. This is like one of those times where Wukong dying there saved Burangiri. Like, he absolutely would have been dead if we didn't have 2 men on the field. Okay, 100% he would have been. That's the sort of times where this really, really supports you. Probably going to end up being a bit longer. I've not had that many Brimstone procs this time around. And that's really what's doing my damage. Or the additional damage. That's really what's speeding the run up. It's just so sweet. It's such a clean setup. Nice. Brimstone's on. That's what we want to see. Chunk of damage. Beautiful. And I don't have a blessing on Burangiri here. If I was to take one, I probably would take one of the ones which just reduces the damage I take, rather than trying to output any more damage. It's really about just your Burangiri staying alive. Yeah, we're at the sort of 5 minute mark. This is about when I finished last time, so I must have just got more procs of Brimstone last time. But one more proc of Brimstone will actually get me over the line here. There it is. So bam, killed him once. He does another ability. Has he got an active next? No, he doesn't actually. It doesn't proc unless you've got an active ability coming. But look, we're nowhere near dying. Nowhere near. And Bommal is absolutely taking a dive. So yeah, again, just want to call out, like, this is Odd One's game brainchild, but that is clean. That is clean using a champion that cannot do this content normally. So super cool. I guess I'll strip back a bit of gear, but like, if you were using this same build somewhere else, like level 10, level 50, you just need less health. I mean, you can actually look here. So Bommal's got 14, basically 15k attack at this level, and he's running at 250 speed. Yeah, so if you were to strip back to level 40 hard, for example, I think it's 40, is he? I think it's 40. No, maybe it's 50. 50, yeah. So less speed required. You'd be coming down to more like 200 speed that you need. Less defense and HP required because he's just hitting you for less damage, and less accuracy required on your Wukong. So you can come and use the stages tool and find out what you're fighting. If you're literally just trying to get past 10 hard, you could do it without Wukong, by the way, but it's much quicker with. Again, he's hitting you for less. He's running slower, a lot slower, and he needs less accuracy to beat his build. So you can scale it back to whatever you need. But yeah, super awesome. I'm really, as I say, I was inspired when I saw Odd One's original video, and I was like, bam, I'm going to give this a good shot. Let's just try and take off. He's got quite a sexy ring on here. So if I remove the ring, it takes me down to what? 75k health, 3.2k. Let's remove this as well. So we're at 70k, 71k health, 3.3k defense. I've kept the speed where it was, so I do need that speed, I think. And I'll run it through to the end. Well, I'll try and run it through to the end. Let's see if this works. Okay, I mean, it shows how stat intensive it is. I got wrecked pretty quickly on the boss there, so that did not work. Let's just throw one more thing back on and see if this is going to work. My HP back on my amulet. Gone back now to what? 75k health, 3.3k defense. Guess let's bring you in for this because it's worth seeing. You still get a block debuffs out up front. Just see if we're getting hard wrecked at this sort of health point. It's interesting because knowing these sort of breakpoints really helps you if you want to try and get these builds done. Because they are gear intensive. You know, we're talking about probably one of the hardest bits of content still in the game to take down. Especially if you're trying to do it with these type of solo teams or duo teams. Yeah, so you're just taking a bit of extra damage. Feels better. So I'd already died on that previous run at this point. So feels better. And again, the previous run could have just been really bad RNG. And that's what I said before. Like, this run is susceptible to RNG. But no, look, we take additional damage there. We did take a crit. And we went down that one. I'm just going to replay it one more time. But you saw we were never really in danger the first time round. And you see there just already we're kind of hitting breakpoints where we are a bit in danger. Yeah, so it's close, but it's not quite working. So you could kind of see that you do need to be in that upper kind of grouping of stats, defense, and HP to be able to get the job done. But yeah, anyway, awesome to have another opportunity, another kind of champion that's in the mix with a chance at least to be able to beat this beast, which is Bommal 90. As I say, big shout out to Odd One for kind of like coming up with the initial strats. And yeah, I'll see you in a video soon.